Hey guys, I got asked this question during the week. I've actually answered it with a couple of clients, but I've actually never done a video about it, so I'm going to do it now. About loose skin, and can you fix that loose skin from pregnancy or from being overweight? So basically it happens to both genders. You know, it can happen to guys and girls. If they've been overweight and there's been a high amount of fat and you lose that, there can be like loose skin. It's normally around like the lower abdomen, but it can be in other body parts as well. Or people that were pregnant, they'll have that extra loose skin from the stretching, obviously when you're in your last few months of pregnancy. You can get rid of it. Technically, if you look up scientifically and stuff, they'll tell you that there's loose skin, it's hard, you need surgery and stuff to reduce it, would be the normal consensus. That being said, I have worked with clients who have tightened up that loose skin. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty hard because it tends to only start to tighten up when you start to drop into really low levels of body fat and you have considerable muscle underneath that area that you're trying to tighten up. For example, I've had a lot of girls where they've had that loose skin around their stomach, particularly females that have had children that have been pregnant, where they have that stretch. But it's the same thing with men with overweight, where they have that extra loose skin from having been like chronically obese at one stage. And people will talk about the surgery. And in some cases, there's surgery is really the only case. If it's really excessive loose skin, like you went from 100 kilos to 40 kilos, you're going to have excess loose skin there because that skin is nowhere to go. That being said, the majority of people don't have that massive amount of loose skin. It's like just a small fold or a flap normally, and it can tighten up. The bad news is the people I've mainly seen it with are people that I have dieted down for a photo shoot or dieted down for a fitness show. Because what happens is when your body fat drops considerably, and you've got obviously the muscle underneath it, and you start pulling out things like water, you tend to tighten up that loose skin. Because of things like when you pull the, say, carbohydrates out, your body fat's really, really low, there's muscle tone underneath, it tends to tighten up that whole region of the skin. Another good way of doing it though is working overall weight training, resistance work, where you're tearing down fibers and cells and tightening up everything, is going to help tighten up that skin. It doesn't actually necessarily, when you go to grab it, it's going to be the same, but it's going to give an illusion of being much tighter because of the tightening feeling where you're pulling things up. So for example, if you lose skin down here, if you tighten everything through here and tighten everything through the lower abs, it makes sense that it's going to give the illusion that that skin is tighter because of the way the muscle will hold over it. So really the long and the short answer is it is possible, and you definitely can get rid of loose skin. But it's one of those things that the only people I've seen it with have been my people that I've worked with for either photo shoots or fitness competitors, or people that are getting to that really, really low level of body fat. On the bright side of it is, if you do get down to that area and you do play with water manipulation and carb manipulation and muscle manipulation in that area, it'll hold off, it'll stay off. I haven't seen them go back when they've tightened that loose skin. It hasn't came back. So that's the bright side of it. Is the downside is you have to be in that kind of sub low level of body fat, and then do all the manipulations and stuff around it to tighten it up, and then it tends to hold off. So I hope this video helps. Just to let you know, it can be done, and if you put it into Google, they'll tell you that you need the surgery and you need all these things. I've witnessed it firsthand. When it hasn't been excessive, it tightens up in my competitors and some of my women and men that I've worked with, that I've dieted down for photo shoots, where they've been really, really, where they've had to tighten it up. But the large majority, anyone that has that massive amount of, like if you've gone from 100 kilos to 30 kilos, probably surgery is probably the only way you can go with it. And I feel when you put it into a Google search, that's who they're talking about. So hope this video helps. Please like and share the page. If you have any questions, comment down below and I'll be replying for the next 24 hours.